Alabama becomes the 37th state to allow gay couples to marry as the Supreme Court refuses to halt same-sex marriages there. Welcome to your Monday lunch break, everyone. I'm Tanya Rivero. In a bit of judicial drama, the Chief Justice of Alabama's Supreme Court had ordered local officials Sunday to deny marriage licenses to gay couples. But Monday, some judges in Alabama are issuing those licenses in defiance of his order, and with the nation's highest court, in effect, giving the green light. Here with analysis is WSJ Law Bureau Deputy Chief Ashby Jones. Ashby, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So a lot has happened between Sunday night into today, Monday morning. Can you bring us up to speed?
Yeah, very quickly. So this started last month when a federal judge in Alabama struck down the state's ban on same-sex marriage. After that, Chief Justice Roy Moore of the Alabama Supreme Court, a state court judge, said, you know what, lower courts, you don't have to follow what the federal courts decided to do, what they said about same-sex marriage. So there was this split between the state courts and the federal courts.
Does he have the authority to do that?
Well, that's a question that law professors continue to debate.
Okay.
But the issue sort of ultimately wound its way up in a way to the U.S. Supreme Court, which today said that it was not going to stop the federal court ruling. So essentially,
by staying out of it, they're saying go ahead.
They're saying go ahead. So now you've got this situation where you've got these probate judges who are the ones who are actually granting the licenses torn. What do? Do they go with what their own state Supreme Court justice says, or do they go with what the federal courts have ordered? And there's a split going on.
Right, so we hear some counties are issuing the licenses this Monday and others are not. What could happen in those counties that are not?
Right. Well, right now, you're exactly right. I mean, you've got sort of the split. There's a lot of uncertainty going on down there. I think that both sides sort of have firm ground to stand on. Actually, they could say, you know, well, I'm following this court, I'm following that court. Nobody's really right, nobody's really wrong. It seems like if you're the probate judges at this point, I would imagine that if you are a person who wants to get married and your local probate judge isn't allowing it, well, what are you going to do? You're going to seek out the one that does allow it and probably drive over and get a license that way. So I think that the marriages will continue slowly forward. Yeah.
Now, you know, looking ahead, obviously the tide is turning in favor of gay marriage. The Supreme Court has yet to rule. But if the Supreme Court, let's say, decides that states must ultimately make the decision, could this then be reversed in Alabama?
Yeah, absolutely. It could be reversed. And then you might have a situation not only in Alabama, but other places where you've allowed gay couples to get married, and then all of a sudden the state law comes back into play and it says these marriages are null and void. And what do you do then? Do you allow them to go forward?
It would be such a colossal mess, though, right?
It would be a colossal mess, absolutely. But that's one outcome, potential outcome from the Supreme Court ruling, which is likely to happen by the end of June.
Which is coming up, and we will be bringing you back to talk about that when it happens. Ashby Jones, thank you so much for that.
Thanks for having me.